I'm looking forward to writing these things every season. This time it was surprisingly difficult. Spring 2016 almost offers too many shows to write about, yet none of them make an easy target for me to poke fun at. As much as I try to see every show I'm watching as something that can be potentially good, smart or fun, there's always this one show you just know will be bad. This season I'm afraid we have to live with full-on excitement, so without further ado, my name's Kristin, this is Hamstako, and these are the shows I'm most excited about in spring 2016. Bungo Stray Dogs is the story of Atsushi Nakajima, who grew up in an orphanage. On the day he leaves, he comes across Osamu Dazai and stops him from committing suicide. As it turns out, Dazai is part of a detective agency, and not just any boring old detective agency. Every member of his unit has some kind of superpower, which is why they take care of supernatural cases. For one reason or another, Atsushi is involved in one of them and has to stay. If you've seen my Code Realized review, which you should by the way, you are well aware that I have a thing for throwing various literary characters together in a completely different setting. Bungo Stray Dogs picks it up a notch by basing the characters on Japan's most important modern authors. I'm looking forward to researching all of the characters afterwards to see whether there are some kind of similarities between the real-life person and the anime alter ego. As if there aren't enough books already I want to read. Kodansha seems to have the same idea, as they just recently started publishing a new line of books with the respective Bungo Stray Dogs character design on the cover. Even if you're not as much into googling stuff as I am, Bungo Stray Dogs can still be a really good show. It is directed by Takuya Igarashi and written by Yoji Enokido. The two of them have worked together on Oran High School Host Club and the Sailor Moon Stars season before. Judging from the trailer, it has rock-solid production values and the voice cast is dreamy to say the least. Be aware that Bungo Stray Dogs is a split course show, which means that the first 12 episodes will air in spring. Then the show will take a break during summer to dispose of the bodies of all the animators that died during production, and then continue in fall with another 12 or 13 episodes, leaving me in a pinch. I really want to start it on April 7th, but I would prefer to watch everything in one go. Watching anime is hard and full of decisions. No matter if you are a binge watcher or prefer the weekly style, you can find Bungo Stray Dogs on Crunchyroll. Continuing with agents who have a lot more serious issues.
Miyoshi, Kaminara, Odagiri, Amaru, Hatano, Jitsui, Fukumoto, Tazaki.
Yokoyama begins in 1937 when Lieutenant Colonel Yuki of the Imperial Japanese Army founds the D Agency. He trains his agents to not kill, not get killed and not get captured while taking action against foreign spies. Everything about Joker Game sounds like the kind of show I have been waiting for. The screenplay, which will be written by Takishimoto, is based on a novel by Koji Yanagi. As much as I like fluffy Kyoto animation here, I actually prefer more natural character designs, and the voice cast is full of actors with manly man voices. What I find most compelling though is the potential for future conflicts based on the don't kill, don't get killed and don't get captured rule of this military branch. It is the exact opposite of the Bushido-inspired military mentality which was common in Japan until the end of World War II. Not being able to end every conflict in a shootout also turns this more into a mind game, and every decision has a consequence. Properly thought through and with engaging execution, this can still be an edge-of-your-seat experience. The promotional video also seemed to tease some kind of personal conflicts, which are just as important. In the end, I need some kind of reason for why I would want the men in the series to survive their missions. Joker Game will be available for legal streaming on Crunchyroll starting April 5th. It is a very strong season for Crunchyroll, which is amazing because that means that you can watch all those awesome anime from almost anywhere in the world. Time for a little palate cleanser. Kumamiko tells the story of a girl named Machi who takes care of a shrine located somewhere in the Tohoku region. When she decides to move to the city, a talking bear named Natsu takes it upon himself to explain to her everything she needs to know about life in the city. I love the concept of this show for potentially being a sweet and fluffy comedy. Judging from the premise, I assume that a lot of the humor will be based on the way Natsu explains everything, Machi interprets it, and our knowledge of how those things really are. With the right amount of heart, this can be something really special. Kumamiko will be available for legal streaming on Funimation or Anime Lab if you happen to live in Australia. Before we move on, I need you to promise me to not walk away just yet. Wait for my reasoning. I lied. There is an easy target. Super Lovers, a BL series about a young boy who grew up in the wilderness and has to be integrated into society by his adoptive older brother. Knowing genre tropes, just summarizing the plot makes me cringe so hard, and according to comments on the DPV, I wasn't the only one. BL, for me, is the apotheosis of everything that is wrong about media targeted at female audiences. The thing is, being a teenager is hard enough as it is. You already feel like nobody in this world could possibly understand you, realizing that you truly are different from what a huge part of society considers normal appears unbelievably difficult to me. This conflict alone offers enough drama to write 5 different stories. Instead, BL prefers to romanticize sexually, physically or psychologically abusive relationships because that has more tension or is more interesting. I wouldn't know, I don't get the appeal, but I'm totally open to explanations down in the comments below. To be very clear here, it is not about keeping sexuality or sexual topics out of anime and manga. It's just high time to change the way we integrate it, and that goes for homosexual and heterosexual relationships alike. To make sure that I don't only preach old cliches because maybe the tides are changing in this genre too, I'm going to watch this. And you can do too, starting April 6 on Crunchyroll. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter to see how much sanity I have left after about 3 episodes. Moving on to a show that looks a little bit like Snowpiercer meets Attack on Titan with zombies. Kotetsujo no Kabanyari takes place in a world in which humanity is threatened by a mysterious monster that turns humans into zombies. No existing weapon can harm it, leaving humanity once again on the verge of extinction. The last few settlements are connected by a train line. When this train is attacked, humanity finally decides to fight back, and starting April 7th we will see how that goes. Kotetsujo no Kabanyari has gotten a lot of heat in the anime community before it has even started, because the formula of human-eating giants fought by a steampunky army feels awfully familiar. I don't have a problem with basing a story on something that has been successful in the past. After all, every story ever has been told one way or the other before. By picking out universally good bits and pieces, you're setting yourself up to creating your own version that can be totally different from everything that has been done before. With Ichiro Okochi, creator of Code Geass and author of my favorite Space Dandy episode, writing the script, together with Hiroshi Seko, who has still a lot of room to grow as an author, Kotetsujo no Kabanyari has potential. It gets a bit problematic when you're not only copying ideas, but also bring along the same staff, mechanical designs, composer, and even the voice actors. Since summer 2015, I'm also a little bit prejudiced against female characters adding blue ribbons to their outfit. All of that makes your life as a director and my life as a viewer a lot harder than it has to be. No matter how unique Kotetsujo no Kabanyari turns out to be, to the outside eye it will always be an Attack on Titan clone. Since it is part of the Notamina program block, it will be available for legal streaming in Japan and the United States for free for Amazon Prime customers. Notamina has announced that all of their series from now on will stream on Amazon. I don't know how this is handled for the rest of the world, but if you have Amazon Prime, maybe check back every once in a while and leave a comment down below to let other people know.
迷いがそして僕らは消えた
Mayoi is the story of 30 young men and women who set out to search for a mysterious village. According to an urban legend, this village is supposed to be some kind of utopia where you can find your own happily ever after. What they actually find and why they decided to leave is what we will be finding out starting April 1st. The staff for the show alone is a dream come true. It will be directed by Shirobaku Tsutomu Mizushima, contributing the soundtrack is Masaru Yokoyama, and supervising the script is Mari Okada. I think I mentioned this in one of my Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans videos before. What I love about Okada is a very nuanced approach to topics reaching from friendship and family to grief. Mayoga will probably have a lot of character drama considering that 30 people felt the urge to leave home and disappear. Of course, it's also questionable whether utopian societies are really as happy as they appear. I can't wait to find out and be punched in the guts with the resolution. I also find it worth mentioning that the project is completely original and partly crowdfunded. It will be available on Crunchyroll under the title The Lost Village. And finally, this! Sailor Moon Crystal is getting a new season adapting the Deathbusters arc. I find it unfair to poke fun at it for the same reason you don't kick someone who's already on the ground. That was how I wanted to kick off this segment until the first episode got previewed at Anime Japan. So hold your keyboards, ladies and gentlemen! I mean, damn, there is no denying that the first season was a drag in every aspect, reaching from animation to writing. The new opening alone is more vivid than all of the first 26 episodes combined. I like the new aesthetic a lot. The facial expressions and the way highlights are set on lips, eyes and cheeks make it very feminine without even trying. For some reason I do get a very strong Ikuhara vibe from this opening, which is funny because he directed the third arc back in the 90s. The new director Chiaki Kon is also very familiar with series targeting female audiences, having directed the two biggest anime BL titles, Junjo Romantica and Sekaiichi Hatsukoi, but also other titles like Higurashi no Nakakoro ni. Some names slightly worried what's going to happen in the second half. Not only has the aesthetic changed, it borrows the choreography from Sailor Moon's Moon Spiral Heart Attack as well as backgrounds from the 90s version and adds more cartoony faces which were lacking and direly missed in the first season. In my opinion, it didn't have to copy those elements. A new approach underlining the character's personality would have been just as good as long as it's, decent looking. Be that as it may, the transformations have gotten better. I have to see it a few more times in HD to form my full opinion, but so far it looks like 3D and 2D elements have been properly integrated. Don't get your hopes up just yet, there is still a lot that can go wrong. Toei is still Toei and the quality has to be consistent for 13 episodes. Even the PV had some slight glitches if you paid attention. Perspective is still a bit troublesome and everything apart from transformation and attacks is still more static than I would like it to be. But maybe, just maybe, this third arc won't be as soul-crushingly bad as its predecessors were. Everything is progress from here on out. If you wanted to, you could watch the first season on Crunchyroll. I recommend reading the manga instead. It is a very faithful adaptation and I won't force you to go through the same torture I did before jumping into the new episodes, which are on Crunchyroll as well. Since I picked out 7 instead of 5 series, I'm going to skip the part where I jump into the upcoming movies. There's only one movie that matters anyway, and that is Garou Divine Flame, a sequel to the first season of the Garou anime franchise. By the time I upload this, I should have another video already filmed, so if you're interested in that, then don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you next time, and maybe I finally get my upload schedule back on track.